I'm Sonny Vega, and I play bass and do backing vocals for Close Your Eyes.
Very cool. So you had a new album come out last fall?
Yeah.
So I want you to compare and contrast your two albums, because you know everyone says you have everyone says you have your whole life to write that first album.
Right.
And it's very hard to do that second one, but you're pretty quick at getting a second album out.
What's funny is if you listen to like songs, let's say like Song for the Broken, compared to a song like Digging Graves or The Body, they sound very different. And the reason is because we wrote Song for the Broken about 4 or 5 years ago, and wrote Digging Graves about a week before we got in the studio. And you know, like as musicians and like, you know, teens and young adults growing up, we're in different places in our lives at each moment, you know, and I mean, I'm completely different than I was at 23, you know, 2 years ago than I am now at 25. And you know, that includes music, taste, you know, anything, you know. So when Song for the Broken was written, everybody was kind of like, everybody liked Emery, and I mean, we still love Emery, but it's not who we want to be, you know. And a lot of stuff like that, and eventually we started listening to a lot more of like Rise Against, and like I've always kind of been like an old school punk and like hardcore kid, and I kind of brought that into the band. Shane, actually, when I first met him, the hardest band he listened to was Breaking Benjamin, and it was really sad. And one day when we were driving to Houston, I was like, dude, do you listen to any like punk or hardcore or anything? He's like, no, I hate it. I'm like, well, it's because you haven't listened to the right bands. So I introduced him to some bands, and completely changed his life. And he will say that I changed his life completely. But I still make fun of him because, like, at 16, when you're discovering punk and hardcore, you're kind of an elite kid, and Shane's going through that stage now. He's like, dude, have you heard of 88 Fingers Lou? I was like, yeah, when I was 17, bro, you know? So, you know, like, we're in different parts of our lives. So that's why that CD, We Will Overcome, that album, sounds just like 3 different bands, you know, with the same singer. It's because we were 3 different bands, you know. Each of the songs are different, were written at different points of our lives. And compared to this new record, we wrote this new record in about a year. We had about 6 months to write, and then a couple months to prepare and tour, and then record, which is way different. You know, like I said, writing the first album, we took our time. You know, we were in no rush. We weren't even writing albums. We were just writing songs and played songs from what people liked 4 years ago, and then wrote some new stuff that we liked, you know, that sounded way different. And on this record, we're all kind of in the same place of what we wanted to do musically and where we wanted to go, and it really showed. Like it's not exactly night and day, but there are a lot of differences to these 2 records, and actually I'm really happy with how the new record turned out. It's not, let's see, we get this all the time, it's not as heavy, but we actually did that on purpose, believe it or not. Like, we like the heavy stuff, you know, and whatnot, but we're more of like old school punk, you know, hardcore kids. We still have some heavy stuff in there, but definitely not as much as We Will Overcome. And it's just like who we are now, you know, and I'm really excited about the album. A lot of people got really excited. Did a lot better than I expected, honestly. The first few times I heard some of the songs all the way recorded, I was kind of just like, well, here we go. But it had a good turnout, and kids really dig it. And I'm thankful for that. It's pretty cool.
It's cool to read, because as I was reading reviews that people did of the album, they said, yeah, that your sound did change, and they would classify you differently now, more towards the punk side.
Exactly.
You know, which is cool. And it definitely opens you up to a broader fan base too, which is good. I mean, that's good for any band. Now, how about your fans from the beginning? How do they feel about your album and the sound change?
Some of them, we have heard some awesome responses. You know, we've heard people saying this is a way better album musically. You know, vocally, Shane has really found his steps, and you know, we were really excited about that. But we also have a lot of those fans that were kind of just like, no way, man. We Will Overcome was way better, and they're missing the breakdowns and stuff. And you know, it's kind of like, well, as a person and as a musician and as a band, you can't please everyone. You're not supposed to please everyone. But what you can do is be happy with what you do. And we're happy with what we did, and we're excited about it. actually get a lot of hassle from some fans and stuff on like online, like, why didn't you do any vocals on the new record? You know, like, that's why it's not heavy anymore, because you weren't yelling. And I'm like, dude, maybe. But here's my excuse. While everybody was recording, I was at home. I was really busy getting married.
Aww.
So I had to do that. I've been with her for 8 years and dragged my feet long enough.
It was about time.
Yeah. So when we put everything for the wedding and stuff, everybody would have had time. You know, it wouldn't have been a rush or anything. But things came up and stuff started overlapping, and I kind of had to decide. Well, I'm either gonna marry my girlfriend of 8 years when I'm supposed to, or go to the studio and record. So I showed Brett all my bass parts, recorded all my bass parts, and I didn't do any of my vocals, which I thought Shane did wonderful. I thought he did a great job doing a lot of the yells and stuff. And obviously there aren't as many yells, but I mean, it's not like they were supposed to. We didn't have that many yells originally. I do a lot of yells live.
I was just going to ask that if then you did it. Yeah.
I do it live, but on the recording, obviously, I'm not there. I was home moving on. I was home growing up. What can I say? I know she's happy for it. I'm awesome. You know, I love it. It's been good. It was a good move. I don't regret not recording this album. Plus, Brett did a great job doing the bass lines. You know, so it was a good time.
No, that's cool. Yeah. You have to do what you have to do.
Exactly.
You know, and then I mean, because it is a full cycle of your life, so you have to do these kind of things.
Exactly.
Now, in being a Christian band, and you're openly a Christian band, you do not hide that. A lot of bands start out saying that that's what they are, and then they change.
Right.
Even Evanescence was one of those that was labeled as a Christian band to start with, and they changed it. How much does that come into play when you choose what tours you'll go on to?
To choose which words.
What kind of tours you would go on to?
That absolutely has nothing to do with bands that we tour with. Like, we've toured with Christian bands and we've toured with non-Christian bands. We've toured with atheist bands. You know, we've toured with agnostic bands. We're friends, you know, with a lot of bands that we tour with. Good friends. But when the religion thing, you know, is brought up, we tend to try not to really talk to it. You know, like, try not to get too deep into it, because what are the rules? They say there are 3 things you're not supposed to talk about.
Politics, religion, and there's something else.
Yeah, I can't remember the third one.
I know.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Yeah, religion. But I mean, you know, we try, you know, to talk to kids about what we believe in and stuff. And, like, you know, our friends that aren't religious whatsoever respect us and we respect them. It doesn't mean we can't be friends, you know. And you know, we have a lot of good relationships like that. And we never, just because a headlining band is even, you know, they have lyrics that are pretty intense and stuff, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, like, a lot of them are cool dudes. Like, it doesn't mean they're terrible people. It's just don't write about the same stuff, you know.
That's cool to hear.
Yeah.
You know, because you wonder about that, because I know on Warped Tour the one year there was a little bit of friction between some of the Christian bands and some that weren't.
I heard about that, yeah. A while back.
And and you hate to see something like that happen, because regardless of those things, you still have a common thing with music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what they should be looking at. You know, because lyrics can be taken many different ways.
Exactly.
You know?
It's funny, a lot of people actually still won't realize that we are, like, a faith-based band, and we do talk about our faith, among other things. You know, we mainly just talk about positive, you know, like being positive. And, yeah, you know, we do write about our faith and stuff, and it's pretty evident in our lyrics, but a lot of people don't realize it until, like, their fans weigh in, like, months or years in, and then they're like, what?
Yeah.
And then it clicks. And it's sad, because sometimes they'll completely they'll just be like, okay, I'm not a fan anymore, forget you guys.
But you were a fan the whole way with the lyrics, and it's like...
It's pretty
sad.
It's pretty ridiculous. And when I see those kids, I'm just like, hey man, you don't have to be our fans. Like, we're not begging you to. Like, we write music that we like, and we appreciate everybody that supports us, and, like, we love them to death. But, like, we're not doing it for the people that want to talk down to us and what we believe in. You know, I think that's a little closed-minded. You know, it's ridiculous. That's just my point of it.
No, I totally agree with you there. Okay, fun question. Hopefully it's not too hard. So I want you to pick 3 songs by other artists that make up the soundtrack of your life. So 3 songs that had an impact on you.
Okay.
A lot of people have problems with this. So I'm like, you know?
Kickstart My Heart is probably the song of my life. I can wake up to that song, brush my teeth to that song. I can eat lunch, eat dinner, you know, play like anything, do anything to that song. I just love that song. I don't know. To me, it's just like it pumps me up and it gets me excited. And I don't know. It's really cheesy 80s butt rock, but I dig it. What's another song? Lowrider. That's another song. It's pretty chill. I just hang out. You know, I'm kind of like just a calm guy, and like when I hear that song, I'm just like cool. And I'll actually put that sometimes when I'm driving around at home, and just kind of blare that as almost like a joke and stuff. You know, like people that hear it, just like, wow, that guy's like, is that guy serious? A little bit, yeah, about 75% serious. And my third song, oh, that's a hard one. Third song, I'm trying to think of a song that I listen to all the time.
Is there an artist that you listen to all the time?
Artist I listen to all the time. Michael Bublé, actually. I've been listening to that dude for a long, long time. Pretty obsessed with that guy.
Something people wouldn't normally think you'd listen to?
No, it's kind of funny. You know, I listen to a lot of bands, and a lot of fans of ours probably would never realize that I listen to. Sneaker Pimps, Michael Bublé, Eric Connick Jr. Sneaker Pimps is awesome. Love that band.
I want to see IMX sewing Seacrest.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Portishead, love Portishead. Like, and when I talk to fans about like music, you know, and I tell them these bands, they're just like, never heard of them. You know, I'm like, well, a lot of them are from the early '90s, and
they're out of their time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and unless their parents listen to it,
exactly,
they wouldn't be subjected to it. Yeah.
But yeah, the Sundays, Wild Horses by the Sundays. That's my third song.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it was a remake of the Rolling Stones' Wild Horses, but I think the Sundays did it better, honestly. And it's a really good song.
Last question, and I ask everybody this. So it's the future. You open up the Rock and Roll Encyclopedia. What do you want to read under your band's name? How do you want to be remembered?
That's a tough question. Let's
Good
see.
I didn't start with it.
Yeah, as a band, if you saw Close Your Eyes in the Encyclopedia, I don't know. Under it, I imagine like Close Your Eyes, and then the parentheses of how to pronounce it, and then under it just says party. I don't know why. That's it. Close your eyes, party.